All right, let's dive in. Today, we're cracking open the official rulebook for every single rupee the Indian government spends. We're talking about the General Financial Rules, or GFR 2017. Let's see how it all really works.
I mean, seriously think about it for a second. How on earth does a system manage trillions of rupees, making sure everything from a massive new highway down to the pen on a government desk is accounted for? Well, there's a system for that, and it's called the GFR.
You can think of it as the government's official instruction manual for money. And these aren't just suggestions, These are the binding rules that every single department, every official has to follow to make sure that taxpayer money is spent correctly and with integrity.
Okay, so if we're going to follow the money, the first thing we need to know is where is it kept? And believe me, it's not all just sitting in one giant pot. The government's finances are actually split across three very distinct accounts, and each one has its own specific purpose and its own set of rules. And the biggest difference between these accounts really comes down to who holds the keys. First, you've got the consolidated fund. That's the main pot where all the tax revenues and government loans go. Then there's the contingency fund, which is kind of like a smaller emergency stash for unexpected events. And finally, the public account, which, interestingly, isn't really the government's money at all. It's things like our retirement savings that the government is just holding in trust.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. To spend even 1 rupee from that main account, the Consolidated Fund, Parliament has to pass a specific law, an Appropriation Act. This parliamentary lock is everything. It means the government can't just spend tax money on a whim. It has to get approval from the people's elected representatives first. That's the bedrock of financial accountability in our democracy.
Okay, so let's say the money is allocated. How should an official decide how to spend it? Well, the GFR lays down 5 fundamental principles that are meant to act as an ethical compass for every single person making a financial decision. These 5 principles are really the heart and soul of the GFR. It's not just about spending the money you were given, it's about spending it well. You have to get good value, you have to avoid waste, you've got to actually achieve what you set out to do, be totally open about the process, and of course, be ready to answer for your choices.
Let's just zoom in on economy for a second. This doesn't just mean buy the cheapest thing you can find. Not at all. It means finding that sweet spot, the best possible value that meets all the specific requirements without being extravagant. It's all about smart, prudent spending. So, with those principles as our guide, how does an idea actually turn into a real purchase? Let's walk through the structured path that every single government expense, big or small, has to follow. This multi-tier system is basically a series of gates or checkpoints. Before any money can change hands, you have to pass through each one. The first gate asks, is this project actually needed? That's your administrative approval. Okay, you're through. Next gate, is the plan technically sound and actually doable? That's the technical sanction. Then, is the money actually in the budget for this? That's financial sanction. Only after you get a yes at all those gates can the final payment be approved. So once all those approvals are in place, where does the government actually go to buy things? Well, these days, the answer is almost always GEM, the government e-marketplace. It's basically the Amazon for government procurement, a huge one-stop digital shop. And the scale here is just staggering. To date, over 16 lakh crore rupees worth of transactions have flowed through this single online platform. This massive shift to digital has centralized a huge chunk of public spending, which in turn makes it way more transparent and easier to track. But let's bring it down from that astronomical number to the day-to-day reality for a government official. A really crucial update in July 2024 increased the limit for direct purchases on GEM to 50,000 rupees. This simple change makes those smaller, everyday procurements so much more efficient. The whole system is built on these tiers of transparency. For small, everyday items up to 50,000 rupees, an official can just buy it directly. But the moment you go above that, the scrutiny increases. Above 50,000, you have to compare prices from different sellers. And for anything over 5 lakhs, a full, formal bidding process becomes mandatory. The platform itself actually enforces these rules. Okay, so the money has been allocated, it's been sanctioned, and it's been spent. But the journey isn't over yet. Now comes the final, and maybe the most important step of all, the independent audit. The Controller and Auditor General, you'll hear them called the CAG, is the supreme audit institution of India. You can think of them as the ultimate independent watchdog.
They're answerable only to Parliament, and their job is to go back and check the books to make sure every single rupee was spent exactly according to the GFR. And the CAG does two different kinds of checks. A transaction audit is all about compliance. It asks, did you follow the rules? Do you have the right paperwork, the right sanctions? But a performance audit asks a much deeper question. Even if you followed all the rules, was this actually a good use of money? Did you achieve the goal efficiently and effectively? So why does all of this matter, especially for someone working inside the system? Look, understanding the GFR isn't just about passing an exam or ticking a box. It's about being a guardian of public funds. It's about ensuring that every single rupee you handle is treated with the respect and integrity it deserves.
So there you have it. We have the accounts, the guiding principles, the step-by-step processes, and the independent watchdog. The system, at least on paper, is pretty robust. But here's the final question I want to leave you with. Is having the right rules enough, or is the biggest challenge something the rulebook just can't account for? Let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me.